happy Wednesday, right? Yes, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It is With Beanz, the show you come to every day to laugh, cry, and have a ball. Yesterday we had a special guest. My daughter joined us. Still having a hard time. We're talking about it. It's okay. It's going to be okay. If you are watching the show, hit a thumbs up, hit a like, share it with your friends, talk about it with people. Say, hey, there's this like really cool laid back show where this girl that I'm really good friends with in real life, because you all are, does, you know, an hour of news and health and consciousness and stuff like that. And then you can join it and talk to everybody. And tell them to go to linktree.com with Beanz or to uncoverdc.com and join our family. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please hit a thumbs up, leave a comment, leave a rating. It really, really, really helps. I want to see, when I changed this from dark to light to With Beanz and changed the times and took the production in-house and all of that, I had to leave my subscribers to my old podcast on audio platform behind. And now I have to rebuild them all and hope they find me again somehow. So that's not fun. Who do we have in the chat on Rumble today? We have my hubby Will's here. Smith is here. Post is here. Hey, Post. Good to see ya. We have CJP in the house talking about his baseball hats. Hammer O Justice is here, which is fantastic. Lots of chit-chat going back and forth. Robin's here. Truthy's here. Adam's here. Hello, Adam. Mike is here. Muscle Engineer has joined us. We have a lot of folks here. So that's the goal. Now, as per usual, I have a lot today. It's going to be exciting too. I'm actually like, oh wow, there's a lot to do today. But it wouldn't be a good show if I didn't start out with something fun. And I'm also going to have to get myself a more comfortable chair. I happened to watch back the interview with Viv yesterday, and I'm shifting and shuffling and moving around, and my back is killing me in this chair. So I need a new chair. It served its purpose for a little while, but it's not sustainable long term for me. Anyway, we're going to start out with something fun. So like this, what you're about to watch reminds me of me, like when I first started realizing that like everything I had ever known is a lie, like figure 2002, 2003, real hardcore. But watch this. It's so funny.
I'm totally into conspiracies. Don't even get me started. Oh yeah. Yeah, I am too. Like, are you into the conspiracies about like cloud seeding and geoengineering? Or like Jean Benet, like who really murdered her? Or is she perhaps Katy Perry? Or is it flat earth? Are you a flat earther? Or how like aliens are really demons? And all famous people are clones, and also aliens and lizard people. Like we're basically poisoned through our food, our air, our water, and soil. That's why we're all sick. Or like JFK Jr. and he's still alive. Or like there's whole underground cities all over the place. Or like Pizzagate. Like those kinds of conspiracies. Like what's your favorite one? Like what are you talking about? Oh, I was just talking about how there might be some traces of fluoride in the water. Oh yeah, that one's good too.
It's so true. It is so true. Like most of those are actually not even quote theories anymore. They're actually kind of real, and they've been real for a while. And then I have one more thing. This made me chuckle. This was one of my favorite movies back in the day. There are very few movies that I've watched more than one time. My husband can attest. I'm not a big one. 50 First Dates is the one he always puts on if he wants me to cry, and I always say no now because I don't like crying. I just think that's the sweetest. It's like our movie. But all of the Austin Powers, I can watch those, and I've seen Tommy Boy, and also My Cousin Vinny. But here, look at this.
Next up are entrepreneurs who believe their product is cooler than the rest. Our brake pads are made with a non-corrosive polyplate.
Okay, so wait. You went so over the top with nonsense, it is everything but a legitimate product. And for those reasons, I'm out.
What my associate is trying to say is that our new brake pads are really cool. You're not even gonna believe
Where
it.
is your proof of this? What study do you have?
Hey, I tell you what, you can take a good look at a butcher's ass by sticking your head up there, but wouldn't you rather take his word for it?
I'm out.
I find your presentation is exhausting and complicated.
No, I mean, you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up a butcher's ass, but then, no, it's gotta be your bull.
Wow.
You guys want this or American Gladiators?
I can't do this anymore, man. My head's about to explode. My whole life sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. My dad just died. We just killed Bambi. I'm out here getting my ass kicked, and every time I drive down the road, I want to jerk the wheel into a goddamn bridge embankment.
You're a get the out of here. You.
We'll be in touch.
It's so funny. It was so funny. That got me. All right, now that we're done with that, let's get into the real stuff. Sorry, I know we have to get into the real world. I do have a crazy quantum physics / mechanics clip for the end that will like blow your mind if you think about it. It's the consciousness discussion has really increased significantly over the past several weeks, which is so awesome to me. Because I love this topic of human consciousness and what is it and what is it really? What are we actually living in? How does it all meld together? The power that we actually do have to, like, it's next level. So fun to talk about. I actually am waiting to hear back from a neuroscientist that I want to bring on here to have a whole discussion about consciousness for an hour with him. It will blow your mind. So good. Anyway. You know what? Maybe I'll do it because sometimes I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. Let's watch this real quick. Watch this. Here we go.
I keep seeing a lot of videos on TikTok of people talking about the world is about to end, right? The apocalypse is coming. Like, people are getting a little too excited about the apocalypse. Not that I'm judging. I mean, I totally understand. But if you're hoping that the world's end is going to bring you that sweet, sweet relief, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I'd like to introduce you to a little theory called the quantum immortality theory and Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation. Quantum immortality theory suggests that nobody ever actually dies, that consciousness never experiences death. Instead, whenever you die in one universe, your consciousness just gets transferred to a parallel universe where you survive. So let's just say all of these people who are anxiously and excitedly waiting for the end of the world are correct. If the quantum immortality theory is correct, you're just gonna wake up in a parallel universe with no memory of the fact that you've just survived an apocalyptic event. The only sort of hint, sort of clue to the fact that this has happened would be new Mandela effects, right? So after the inevitable apocalypse occurs, you're gonna wake up the next day in a new reality. And the next thing you know, you're gonna find yourself on Reddit talking about, since when did Pizza Hut have 2 T's? Arguing with people who are native of this new reality, talking about it's always had 2 T's. So what I'm basically implying here is that in our reality, apocalypses happen every day. You don't believe me? Okay. It's been about 65 million years since the asteroids allegedly took out the dinosaurs. So you mean to tell me that in 65 million years, no other asteroids have come through the neighborhood, take us out? You think we're just that lucky, huh?
It's so good. Think about it. Because when I see Jake Tapper releasing a book called Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. Jake Tapper, of all the people, this Jake Tapper right here.
It makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever saw.
Hey.
Suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You have
to watch somebody on stage search for
that's so
questions.
amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses.
This guy wrote the book about the cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. This guy, right? That one.
Diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say.
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked
is
about
that
a cognitive decline.
That Joe Biden
I have one last
struggling
question for you, Laura. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Laura
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it.
That guy right there wrote the book, Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again. 2021, 2022, I mean, you know, Amy Curtis here does this whole big thread. Look.
He's Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff.
I don't know why, but all of a sudden...
of California joins me now. Thank you so much, Congressman Schiff. The basic argument you're making is that by calling President Biden a sympathetic, well-meaning old man, elderly man with a poor memory, which is how he thought he would come across to a jury, that's political. What part of that construct is inaccurate? I mean, I assume you think he's sympathetic and well-meaning. He's 81, and his memory, you know, it doesn't seem great. It's not...
The dude was the one who covered it up, and what is he writing about? We are in an alternate universe. We really are. We're in an alternate universe. And today, we had Jeff Bezos come out and say, hold on, I'm going out of order here. Jeff Bezos came out and say that he is taking the editorial board of the Washington Post and having them only write from the viewpoints that are in support of personal liberties and free markets. Viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others. And of course, everybody's freaking out about this on the left. Like, oh my God, you mean we can't talk? We're canceling our subscription. We can't talk. This is the overcorrection of an industry that is dead. This is the overcorrection of an industry that is dead, because people like me and others have actually kind of taken over the media. And this happened yesterday too. And again, a collective mind losing, but I think it's about time. Caroline Levitt, here we go.
As you all know, for decades, a group of DC-based journalists, the White House Correspondents Association, has long dictated which journalists get to ask questions of the President of the United States in these most intimate spaces. Not anymore. I am proud to announce that we are going to give the power back to the people who read your papers, who watch your television shows, and who listen to your radio stations. Moving forward, the White House press pool will be determined by the White House press team. Legacy outlets who have participated in the press pool for decades will still be allowed to join. Fear not, but we will also be offering the privilege to well-deserving outlets who have never been allowed to share in this awesome responsibility. Just like we added a new media seat in this briefing room, legacy media outlets who have been here for years will still participate in the pool, but new voices are going to be welcomed in as well. As part of these changes, we will continue the rotation amongst the 5 major television networks to ensure the President's remarks are heard far and wide around this world. We will add additional streaming services which reach different audiences than traditional cable and broadcast. This is the ever-changing landscape of the media in the United States today. We will continue to rotate a print pooler who has the great responsibility of quickly transcribing the president's remarks and disseminating them to the rest of the world. And we will add outlets to the print pool rotation who have long been denied the privilege to partake in this experience, but are committed to covering this White House beat. We will continue to rotate a radio pooler and add other radio hosts who have been denied access, especially local radio hosts who serve as the heartbeat of our country. And we will add additional outlets and reporters who are well suited to cover the news of the day and ask substantive questions of the President of the United States, depending on the news he is making on that given day.
Amen. If I were able to, I would want to be a part of that. I'm not able to, but if I were, I would want to be a part of that. And they're losing it. They've lost. They've lost. Their absurd overcorrection is just not going to work. Independent media is the future. Obviously, you know, people can talk about the amount of people that are on X all they want to. It is where news happens. X is the platform where the media go to get their news, right? So the media go surf through X. I mean, during the election in 2020, Laura Ingram's producers were plucking stuff off my timeline all day long. They don't have anything if they don't have us. And we are the media. We are sit surfing and sprinkling all day. That's what we do. Even on our lunch breaks, we're sit surfing and sprinkling. News is breaking on TikTok. News is breaking elsewhere. But the place to get news, if you want to know what the hell is going on in any area at any time, it's on X. That's why I was able to see this. I have a series of clips from the cabinet meeting today. RFK Jr. was asked about the measles outbreak that's going on right now, the vaccine-induced measles outbreak that's going on right now.
You asked Secretary Kennedy to look into that.
Well, why don't we, Bobby, do you want to speak on that?
We are following the measles epidemic every day. I think there's 124 people who have contracted measles at this point, mainly in Kings County, Texas. Mainly, we're told, in the Mennonite community. There are 2 people who have died, but we're watching it, and there are about 20 people hospitalized, mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it. Incidentally, there have been 4 measles outbreaks this year. In this country last year, there were 16. So it's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
You sound a little under the weather yourself right now.
I have a permanently bad throat.
I mean, that was a joke, but it didn't land very well. CJP in the chat is saying poll the mRNA vaccines already. I have this for later in the show. You guys are ruining my show schedule. RFK Jr. halts Biden's $500 million COVID oral vaccine trial slated to start Monday. Kennedy issued a 90-day stop work order on Friday related to the HHS contract with American biotech company Vaxart, which is working to develop a new COVID-19 vaccine that can be taken orally. The stop work order comes as 10,000 individuals were slated to begin clinical trials on Monday. Biden had already funded the company to the tune of nearly $500 million. Finished. He'll get there to the mRNA. He'll get there. Uptake of that vaccine right now is putrid. Nobody's taking it. But I have some more. Out of the press conference here. Here we go. Let's listen to this beginning piece right here.
And we're going to solve a lot of problems. We're doing very well with Russia, Ukraine. President Zelensky is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed. And we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. And I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. Really did an amazing job. And that'll be on rare earth and other things. And as you know, we're in for probably $350 billion the year. And
so we've got the mineral deal that is freaking out Canada. I saw a clip of some legislator from Canada talking about how they need to form a new alliance with nuclear countries to protect them against the United States of America. Perhaps they should just play ball, man. And now, obviously, Elon was invited to the cabinet meeting, so let's listen to some of these. These are good. Here we go.
And the DOGE is very important, and Elon is here to give you a summary of what's happening, some of the things they found, some of the horrible things they found, some of the theft and fraud, and we call it waste and abuse, but a lot of fraud, and probably some fraud that we're not going to be able to prove is fraud, but when you hear the names and the places where this money's going, it's a disgrace. And the DOGE is very...
And so there's that. And then we got the email that I've been talking about all week. We've got that too.
I'd like to add that those million people that haven't responded, though, Elon, they are on the bubble. You know, I wouldn't say that we're thrilled about it. You know, they haven't responded. Now, maybe they don't exist. Maybe we're paying people that don't exist. Don't forget, we just got here. This group just got here. But those people are on the bubble, as they say. You know, maybe they're going to be gone. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they have other jobs. Maybe they moved. And
maybe they're going to be gone. I would be fine with that. And he asked his cabinet.
Let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, well, throw them out of here. Is anybody unhappy? They have a lot of respect for Elon and that he's doing this, and some disagree a little bit, but I will tell you, for the most part, I think everyone's not only happy, they're thrilled. So go ahead, Elon.
And Elon did go ahead. He did. Here he is.
Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was misinterpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons? So if you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email. This is, I think not a high bar, is what I'm saying. This is, anyone could accomplish this. But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are a number of people on the government payroll who are dead, which is probably why they can't respond. And some people who are not real people, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks. Well, somebody's collecting paychecks on a fictional individual. So we're just literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation for the American public would have at least that expectation.
Do you have 2 neurons and can you write an email?
And President Trump has put together, I think, the best cabinet ever. Literally. So, I do not give false praise. This is an incredible group of people. I don't think that such a talented team has actually ever been assembled. I think it's literally the best cabinet that the country has ever had, and I think the company should be incredibly appreciative of the people in this room.
It's true. We are. And you know what I love about this? He misspoke. He said, I think that the company should be very proud of who we have in this room. Yes, it should be being run as a company, especially right now. It should be being run as a company. We got another one here. Hold on.
And I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Think about that. $4 billion every day from now till the end of September. Why is that a bad thing? Like, why haven't we been doing that? It's amazing, is what it is. One more.
Mr. President, I actually just call myself a humble tech support here because this is actually, as crazy as it sounds, that is almost a literal description of the work that the DOGE team is doing is helping fix the government computer systems. Many of these systems are extremely old. They don't communicate. There are a lot of mistakes in the systems. The software doesn't work. So we are actually tech support. It's ironic, but it's true. The overall goal here with the DOGE team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I'd like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. Thank you, Mr. President.
Why are there people arguing? Go to the wall of receipts at doge.gov under savings. They're listing out all of the contracts that they're canceling. And you can go in and literally read them all. They're linking right to them. It's the wall of receipts. Real estate contracts. Total savings. I don't know if this is in millions. I don't think so. I mean, they're doing it and they're listing it all for you to see. Every American can go and look through all of this. All of it. When have you ever had transparency in government like this before? Literally ever. We never have. Here's our spend in each department. They have the workforce. Take a look at this. 2,252,162 people with 16,436 subordinate officers, $211.3 billion in wages. The average employee has worked here 10 years. The average employee makes $93,828 a year. The average employee is 47. 34 cabinet level, and it's a whole org chart of the United States government. By department. Guys, go to this website. Independent agencies. I mean, it's brilliant. The U.S. Agency for Global Media. Look at this. They're going through literally every, and you can break it out by branch soon. This has never been done before. This is beautiful. This is like a digger's dream. You can download everything. You can look at regulations, unconstitutionality index 18.5. This is the number of agency rules created by unelected bureaucrats for each law passed by Congress in 2024. Rules versus laws. Guys. This is a libertarian's dream. This is doge.gov. DOGE.gov. Never in history. Go to this website. Spend some time on this. Federal regulations by agency. It's all here for you. This is a U.S. government frickin' website. This is our government right now being the most transparent I've ever seen in my entire life. We are taking the strides. Now, CJP is in a very negative mood today, so I'm going to take a moment to try and help him. I would love it if, he said it's not saved until it's taken out of the budget. 100%. So can we stop attacking Thomas Massie? Thank you very much. Everybody attacking Thomas Massie for not being a team player, for not going along and voting for the continuing resolution that just passed yesterday that is going to add money to the national debt, not subtract it once they're finished cramming all their nonsense in there. I don't know. I haven't been following you around, CJ. Should I be following you around, CJ? Should I just look for the Mets hat? It is DOGE.gov. DOGE.gov. I actually have Massey today. I have Massey. I went out of order. Oh, before I get to, I'm going out of order. Going out of order. We're out of order. Out of order. You're out of order. And I'm going to get to this committee. Don't you worry. Here he is. Here he is. Here we go. You know how hard it is to plan a show timeline and then have it just go right in front of your face? Thanks a lot, CJ. Unbelievable. Hold on. Hold up. C-SPAN doesn't know how to use microphones, apparently.
Was there anything?
They convinced me in there. I'm a no.
Is there anything?
Look let me, their own numbers. If the Republican plan passes under the rosiest assumptions, which aren't even true, we're going to add $328 billion to the deficit this year. We're going to add $295 billion to the deficit the year after that, and $242 billion to the deficit after that, under the rosiest assumptions. Why would I vote for that?
So are you solidly a no?
Yeah, they convinced me. I was a lean no until this meeting. Now I'm a no.
This no confirmed.
This is a no.
Why? Why?
They're talking points. Look. These are not something I made up. This is the leadership's talking points. It adds $328 billion to the deficit. It adds $295 billion to the deficit the year after that. The only way they get to this magic thing where it's not going to kill our country is 5 years from now, they imagine that 2.5% growth accumulates, and that even right here they say they're going to cap discretionary spending. You think we're going to cap discretionary spending and then spend at the rate of inflation after that? That has never happened. So their assumptions are wrong, but even if you take their assumptions at face value, they told us in there they're going to increase the deficit in 2025 by $328 billion. And I've been here long enough. I've been here 12 years, so I've seen a 10-year plan or two come all the way to 10 years. Under Boehner, we had these 10-year plans. Under Ryan, we had these 10-year plans. Anything past the third year never happens. Thanks.
So yeah, everybody go after Massey about how he's a rhino and he's principled. He's doing what his constituents want him to do. Congress needs to get their S together, okay? Enough of this nonsense. Enough of these committees and all of this showboating and, we're going to do no tax on tips. What's the point of DOGE saving $5 billion a day, as per CJ's point? What's the point of DOGE saving $5 billion a day if you're going to take a giant dump all over the congressmen who are actually trying to save us money in a budget resolution or in a budget bill? Stop taking a dump on principled, we need to make some concessions. Is the Trump administration ever this go round making concessions right now? They came in with a blowtorch. So instead we get this. This is the one thing that's bothering me, and I didn't like this appointment. I'm hoping she changes my mind. Brooke Rollins. I got this email because like the rest of the like Caroline Leavitt said, you're not a pain in the ass. Trust me, CJ. I love you. You're not a pain in the ass. Nobody who asks questions or has differing opinions or any of that is a pain in the ass. I like to talk with you guys live throughout the show because I like talking to people and interacting. And it's a little bit of an unfair advantage that I get to sit up here with a microphone and you guys have a chat box to type into, which is why I did the open the show so that you guys could come on and have discussion, right? Nobody had the balls yesterday to join the show. So that's your fault for lacking a set of cojones. Okay. Anyway, I didn't like this at all. This is Brooke Rollins. I get all the emails from the White House press office. So the detail of a schedule, all of that stuff. She says for immediate release, in case you missed it, Secretary Brooke Rollins outlines plan to lower egg prices. In today's Wall Street Journal, Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins lays out the Trump administration's comprehensive plan to bring down the price of eggs. Ready? Quote, the Biden administration did little to address the repeated outbreaks and high egg prices that followed. By contrast, the Trump administration is taking the issue seriously. To that end, today I am announcing a comprehensive strategy to combat avian influenza. The Agriculture Department will invest up to $1 billion to curb this crisis and make eggs affordable again. We are working with the Department of Government Efficiency to cut hundreds of millions of dollars of wasteful spending. We will repurpose some of those dollars by investing in long-term solutions to avian flu, which has resulted in about 166 million laying hens being culled since 2022. I said this, look, number one, if I wanted to read this whole damn thing, it's behind a paywall. Her plan to the American people is behind a Wall Street Journal paywall. Number two, it doesn't take millions of dollars or $1 billion. Stop forcing farms to kill chickens. Stop using PCR to test for avian influenza, where if there was even a minuscule little fleck of RNA left over anywhere, it is going to amplify that RNA and you're killing chickens for no reason. Stop killing the chickens. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have more eggs. And then the egg prices will come down. And then you'll be able to buy as many eggs as you want, like in Mexico, where you can buy as many eggs as you want for a normal price. And they even sell organic eggs in the supermarkets. Stop killing the chickens. So there was that. That bothered me. I'm really, why do I need to pay the Wall Street Journal to read your plan on avian influenza, which is probably crap, because avian influenza was a manufactured crisis to try and introduce the next pandemic, which would have been the jump to humans, where if humans get avian influenza, they get like pink eye and make it worse than it was, which would lead to more lockdowns, which would lead to more vaccines, and it didn't work. So now we've just killed millions of chickens for no reason. Yes, that was purposeful silence. Now, let's go back. Let us go back to the committee. We talked about this yesterday. Oh yeah, then there was this new, real quick, there was this new SARS-like virus, similar to MERS, similar to COVID, that the Batwoman found in bats that can jump to humans in China. Okay, the same Batwoman with the COVID coronavirus. And I said, well, that's fantastic. If it acts like SARS-CoV-2, then we know exactly how to treat it. Do you want to know how you treat it? You prophylaxis yourself with ivermectin. You have hydroxychloroquine. You eat right and keep your damn immune system up to par. And then you don't have to worry about it at all. But anyway, here is, you want to know what I think? This is going to be a conspiracy theory that I've got going on in my head. And I have like no real evidence to back this up. I think that this whole story that they've leaked out about people inside the FBI and the NSA and all of this destroying documents is because they don't want to release those documents. So they're going to pretend that they were destroyed so that they don't have to release them. That's what I think is going on. But here,
First of all, I want to explain to people what the objective is of the task force, because I think that there was a lot of confusion because of the name of the task force. So we're running the Declassification Task Force, but to be clear, the Declassification Authority actually solely lies with Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Waltz, Pam Bondi, and the White House legal counsel. And so there's a process that occurs. President Trump signed an executive order specifically covering Martin Luther King, RFK, and JFK. Now, there's supposed to be a plan that's presented to the president that we are supposed to be getting briefed on this week by ODNI at the White House, and that will lay out the process in which declassification will take place. And so just stick with me for a minute. We met with the National Archives today. Once that process takes place, if everything goes as planned, these will be publicly available as soon as we get them. The American people will also be getting them, and they will be on a hard landing page at the National Archives. Now, going into talking about the Epstein files, etc. We sent letters to the Department of Justice. We have received that they have confirmation of those letters, but we haven't received dialogue. And my goal and objective is to not, try to attack Pam Bondi or roast Pam Bondi, but we have a investigation that we need to conduct. Obviously, we asked for some transparency on this topic. First of all,
okay, why do you need to conduct an investigation? I still am at a loss. And then she was on with Benny.
I'll also let you guys know that I actually just met with the National Archives, and even they said that they're actually weeding out people at the archives that were obstructionists. And so President Trump definitely getting in, I would argue, has saved the country. We would not have known how bad it was had he not taken the executive branch. But again, it's alarming, it's disheartening, and I fully back my words that I said earlier that what the CIA is talking about right now, if people sell secrets to a foreign government, you will be charged with treason. So do not do that. Do not burn documents. You will be held accountable. We will find you. So just don't even do it.
I'm just not. I don't know why. I'm just not impressed with this one. I'm just not impressed with her at all. And let me get this Zoom set up in case we want to have somebody join us on Zoom today. I'll try again and see what happens. The link is coming. There it is. Get your druthers about you and join on in with us here. I'm gonna pin this message. Yeah, so of course I have our daily obligatory Scott Jennings takedowns too, but we don't need Congress to do investigations on these documents now. Like, it would have been nice if when Epstein was, alive and still offending, if somebody would have cared, okay? Then you've got people coming out saying, oh, there are people taking documents and burning documents and whatever and blah, 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 blah. And then I could just imagine what we aren't going to get because they've been destroyed and we'll never be able to know who did it. Real quick. I was given a month's supply of this stuff called pre-sleep, which is pure enough for me to use it. It's magnesium and L-theanine and some other stuff. It's not melatonin. And I've been very, very tired because of all the crap going on, and I haven't been drinking my nice evening pre-sleep. So I asked them, can I work with you guys? Because it was that good. So today might as well be as good of a day as ever to tell you about pre-sleep. Go over to presleep.com/beans, presleep.co/beans. Use the code BEANZ. grab yourself some of this. It's no sugar or anything like that. I drink it hot at nighttime. It's absolutely beautiful and amazing. We actually have 2 brave souls that have entered the chat room. Who might they be? There are 2 of them. I'm going to let the first one in. Hold on. Let's see. You've got to mute Rumble.
Got it.
Okay, where are you? I can't see you.
I can't see you either.
Did you start your camera?
I did.
I don't believe you.
Wow.
Hold on.
Oh.
There we go. Hold on. There you are. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so you got to speak up a little bit. Tell me your name. Thank you for having some guts. And what do you want to talk about?
Well, technically the name is Ken. So I messaged you yesterday about the about that blue stuff.
Methylene blue, yes.
Blue. It seems like a little bit of a hokey thing. Do you know anything about that stuff?
I do. It's not hokey. I answered you, by the way. Did you see it?
Smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not hokey. It works. It does work. But there is a risk to it. And I don't like the risk. It is it works almost the same way as an antidepressant does, in that it affects the serotonin levels in your body and how they're uptaken. So almost like if you're taking if you're taking an antidepressant or like a Lexapro or something like that, and then you take methylene blue, you could really have a problem. I don't like it. I don't like that it does that. I don't like that at all, actually. So that's why I have a problem with it and wouldn't use it. I don't want to mess with, I don't want a quasi SSRI, and somebody will come on and say that I'm wrong and that's not right and blah, blah, blah. But I've done a lot of study into it. And then I was like, nope, I'm going to put that away. Thank you very much. So that's my reason. But
that's kind of where I was at with that too. But I figured since you're on the on all the health kick stuff, you might have a little more info than I've been able to come across. The other thing I want to talk about too is I know there's some concern out there with Elon Musk as far as the left is concerned. I'm not saying I'm there. What I do have a small issue with is the fact that we are amassing so much power into one location, and if he ends, let's say at the end of the year when he's supposed to, or whatever the case is, okay, I'm fine with that. My concern is he's got so much going on in the world between all the technologies and SpaceX and AI, and I trust Elon, but who's going to take over from there?
this isn't a new position. It existed before.
I understand this position here. I'm just talking about Elon in general.
Well, I guess the hope is that once this is cleaned up, Congress will actually get up off their ass and pass some laws to make it so that this can't happen again.
Right. What I'm going after here is think bigger than that. Think about everything else he's got going on. It's not just DOGE. He's got SpaceX, he's got the news of the world. You know, he's got the future of space. He's got the future of AI. This is all in one man's possession.
So what do you suggest? We take it away from him?
I'm concerned about the future. What happens to all that when he's not here anymore? We have no control mechanisms in place.
Well, they're all private enterprise.
Right.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, what happens if Elon...
I see power amassing, in a few individuals, which is always a concern. There's nothing saying, basically he's got a monopoly. As much as we like everything that's going on right now, I guess my concern would be what happens after this.
Well, I guess the problem really isn't necessarily Elon. It's that other private enterprise doesn't know how to get their shit together and do anything to compete with him. It's not like they haven't been trying for decades and decades and decades and haven't been able to do it. So, like, as a very capitalist person and loving the free market, he's not doing anything wrong. Like, unless you want governments to come in and demonopolize his private enterprise that he has going, then there's no solution to that issue that exists within a free market system.
And I guess if it gets distributed amongst a dozen or so kids that he has, it might be okay.
I doubt that they would come close to what he's been doing.
No.
This is not all to say that I don't agree with your concerns. I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, what if he was a bad egg like Soros and he was doing all this? We'd probably be like, oh, crap. But he's just not a bad egg as per our perception, right? So I get it. But I don't know that I necessarily, like, what world governments have tried to stop him. I mean, they're trying to stop him with X overseas, and they're trying to stop Rumble in Brazil. And so, like, governments are trying to step in and put a rein on this free market power that's allowing citizens to have open dialogue and discussion, which is kind of what you want, technically.
I get it. I mean, we're definitely in a better timeline right now. I guess we'll see where it leads.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have much of a choice but to see where it leads. Like, things are so all over the place every day. Something new is happening, or something cool is happening, or something weird is happening. I've just let it all go. I'm just walking every day as it comes, because there's just no way to predict what could happen tomorrow at all. Like, at all. So I don't know if you're going to go read up more about the black box on methylene blue, or if you're just going to start putting it in your water and crapping out blue poop.
No, I was just curious about it. Like I said, I was doing my research on it, and it didn't seem like a good place to be. I mean, I'd rather just, eat some, some cayenne pepper and,
Are you doing any specific lifestyle plan for your food consumption?
So yeah, I mean, you and your husband got me interested in the carnivore diet. I've been doing that, lost a good 40 pounds.
How do you feel?
I feel better. I'm still dealing with some of the stuff, similar things that your husband's dealing with, MS and all that. But hair's growing back.
Isn't that crazy? That happened to us both too.
It's like, okay, that's a good benefit.
Are you strict carnivore though, or are you like cheating here and there?
I was for a while. I mean, you lost 20 pounds almost instantly, just in water weight. I mean, my wedding ring didn't fit anymore, which was crazy, things like that. But once I got into it a little bit, I was feeling better. I started reintroducing some things because we have an organic garden. The whole backyard's full.
Yep.
So, come to find out, the wife can't handle, we can both handle tomatoes. She can't handle the seeds or the skins. Right.
Isn't that crazy how you learn that stuff?
So we try, we figured out, and we're figuring things out all the time. I mean, obviously you got to avoid sugar, the seed oils, just the silly stuff. And it's amazing, go out to eat and get a nice steak, and okay, they've got some sauteed, vegetables. So I'll just do that on the side, and it's like, yeah, I should have told them to stir it up in butter, because I just started feeling it halfway through.
I'm so glad you're saying this, because people I don't know that people believe me when I tell that same story. Like, I think they think I'm just saying it like, oh, there's no way. Isn't it bad that your body is so reactive to stuff? No, it means my body is clean. And like, if you put gunked up oil into an engine, the engine doesn't take very long before it's sputtering, right? It's the same thing with your body. So that's, how long were you strict carnivore before you started dumping stuff back in just to test?
Probably a good 6 months, I would say.
Perfect. You did everything right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was kind of the thing. It's like, okay, I was trying to get healthier in the old age with all the stuff that's going on from all the toxins I've been exposed to all this entire life, still do the nicotine on a little bit. And, I've got a whiskey collection, so that's not going anywhere.
I would scold you, but I'm not even going to bother.
You know what? I can't do beer anymore. That's for sure.
You
I'm allergic to hops.
You should really stick to clear alcohol if you're going to have to drink it, but...
It was clear once.
Shame on you.
It's just colored by wood.
All right. Well, congratulations. Have you had any follow-ups with the doc since you started?
Yeah, it seems to have not progressed at least.
It's always good news.
Hmm.
Are you dealing
Yeah,
with any?
blood work is fine. Blood pressure is back to normal. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm not, none of that stuff.
It
So
makes me so happy. You have no idea. I get so happy when I hear stuff like this. Did you have any symptoms from your MS that you were dealing with on a daily?
I'm still kind of dealing with them to some degree. Migraines were debilitating. Just real, and we're talking curl up in a ball, unable to move type of, and come to find out it's like some sort of seizure disorder that was actually causing that. So what I thought was I was living with migraines most of my life ends up being whatever this condition is, and I still have nervous system issues only on my right side. I don't have anything. Nothing is wrong on my left side.
Well,
So
keep going, because you might notice some miraculous stuff happen in your next set of scans, whenever they are, your next MRIs. Do they do them yearly for you or every 6 months?
when I feel like going.
Okay, fair enough. So give it a year or a year and a half on strict carnivore, and then go get another MRI and see what happened. Even if it puts you into remission for an extended period of time, that's so much better than progressing because you're still feeding your body garbage. So
Right.
And if you ever need anything, you know how to find me.
Yeah, no, you're responsive.
I try to be. Thank you. Anything else, friend?
Nope. Good luck to the littles. It'll be good. I know. I got you. Sorry.
It's so terrible. Like my son stays, so that's good. I get him for another couple of years at least. But
Yeah, she seems like a rock star. She'll be just fine.
that's the thing. I know she's gonna be okay. That's not what's doing it. I'm so excited for her. I know she's gonna be fine. I'm not worried she's gonna not be able to do it or any of that. It's none of that. It's just like Viv's not gonna be in her room or singing in his shower, or now I'm gonna cry again. All right, enough. I can't do it anymore.
Between my wife and I, we've had 5 kids from 2 different marriages before we got married, but yeah, they're all off and doing great on their own, and now then you get to the point of like, okay, now you get to enjoy your husband again.
Yes, we
So
talk about
that's
that
what you get
often.
to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
It's natural to do things and
Yeah.
enjoy the healthy life you're producing for yourself.
Yes, we say that too a lot. Like that's a definite plus from it. Like going on little vacations is not going to be.
Oh yeah, we bought an RV.
See, so you're like, and when we had our kids, we were both in our 20s, in our early 20s, right? And all of our friends were like either just getting engaged or whatever, and didn't have their kids till they were in their mid 30s to late 30s. And they were all out partying, and me and Will were like home with the kids, like, oh, sorry, we can't come, and I said, don't worry, because we both were in agreement with this. When we're in our early 40s, they're going to be with 6 and 7-year-olds. And then we're going to be with people who are graduating from high school, and we're spry. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not technically retired yet, so it's get to enjoy the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. Come back again, please.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you. I have 2 more people. I might let them in. Just run the show a little late today because we were early yesterday. Let's see. Now I've got 2 of me. Hold on. Carrie? Let's let in Carrie. Carrie?
Yes.
I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I can't see you. Can you put your camera?
Well, I don't want to be on camera. I'm sorry.
All right. I'll let it slide this time.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to share a little story. My husband was a federal employee for over 30 years in the Department of Defense. And he's full of stories, but he has this one story. He's retired now. And he was working at an Army depot, and he's always said, it was like kind of glorified welfare. They had tried to close this depot multiple times, and it's still open, but the top general that ran that depot, and this is probably about 15, 20 years ago, they hired a new secretary for him, and she had no idea what she was doing. He asked her to copy and paste some things on her computer, and then he let her do her thing or whatever. And he was like, came back, and she had actually copied, cut out, and pasted, taped to the monitor at her desk. Yes.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. She taped the cutout, I mean, like child, on the monitor of her computer. I mean, and what they did to get rid of her was just promote her to a different position.
What?
This is the way this place was operated. That's why he always said it was like glorified welfare. These people are hired for, 6-digit positions, and the people in the human resources department of that depot, they're all like, they write the resumes for them. He was a machinist. He got a machinist in there one time who absolutely had no idea what he was doing. And then when he was confronted with it, the guy admitted it, that the HR person had done his resume, and he was just
wait. So basically what you're saying is, like, dude comes in with zero experience, sits down, the HR person is like, we're going to promote you to a machinist. We know you don't have any experience. I'm just going to write your resume for you, and good luck.
Yes, it's basically a brother-in-law operation. Nepotism is just everywhere, rampant. It's just, that's kind of just I mean, he was there for over 30 years. And so he just, you get kind of a thick skin, you get used to it, and you kind of get an attitude like you just don't care. It's like, there's nothing you can do. It's just like, but that's the kind of stuff that I hope and pray that can get cleaned up, because it's our country. It's like, this is not okay what they've been doing all this time. So anyway, I wanted to share that.
Well, I appreciate it, but I don't. If I wasn't going to get any sleep, that stuff just, and what sucks about it is this. There are so many people out there right now who are wildly talented and skilled and cannot find a job. And then, then you've got all this going on with the average government salary at $93K a year. How many people out there, young people that are very good at what they do that can't get jobs? And we're giving these people 93. I mean, there are a lot of good employees in the government. I know some of them, but that's crazy. And that was how many years ago? 30?
It was probably 15 years ago that story happened. Might even have been 20.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's full of different stories. I mean, the depot that he worked at, he was actually a machinist inspector, so he inspected all of this stuff. But there's acres and acres of Bradley tanks just sitting out there with trees growing up through them. I mean, it's and huge generators. They're just rotting. It's like, it's just it would be a super fund. They could never close this as and do anything else with it. It would turn into a super fund site, but it's still open, and it's just open because glorified welfare. Basically, these people, what would they do with these people if they didn't have these jobs? The community that this depot is near, it would impact them economically. And so that's why this place has never been actually closed. When Clinton was in office, they tried to close it through that whole base realignment and closure commission or whatever they went through years ago. You're probably too young to even remember that, but I remember it. And so they didn't close it. They've done reorganizations and all these different things, but this is the kind of stuff that goes on.
Unbelievable. Carrie, that was crazy. Thank you for calling in to tell me and everyone
else.
All
right. Well, I love your show, Tracy, and I just appreciate everything you do. So thank you.
I love you too. Call back again. I like people calling in.
Okay, bye.
Bye. You get fun stuff. Okay, so again, before we leave today. Thank you, Carrie, and thank you to the retired conspiracy theorist who is skeptical of methylene blue and doesn't like the consolidated power of Elon Musk. The two of you are awesome. And Adam, I saw you call in to be like moral support for me in case no one else did, and I love you very much for it. That's it. Remember, it's presleep.co/beans. presleep.co/beans. It's really, really good. I'll bring it upstairs tomorrow to show it to you. Like, I asked him, can I please give this to my people? Because it's really, really good. It works really well. It's tasty. It's no garbage in it, and it works. I have to take it. I'm going to drink my tea tonight. All right. Hit the thumbs up. Share it out with your friends. Of course, we will be back tomorrow for yet another episode of the show. And I appreciate all of you very, very much. Let's close it out with the music. See you soon.